and welcome back. We are diving deep today. And when I say deep, I mean we are tackling something that I think every single one of us has felt.
Oh, yeah.
That specific kind of cold sweat. You know, the one that hits you the moment you walk through those automatic sliding glass doors into a busy terminal?
Right. The travel anxiety. It is so real.
It is the travel anxiety, absolutely. But for a lot of people, and specifically the listeners we are talking to today, it is not just about missing a flight or losing a bag.
No, it's deeper than that.
Yeah, it's the language anxiety. You know, you've got your ticket, you've got your passport, but do you have the words?
That is the worst feeling.
It is. That moment when a uniformed officer asks you a rapid fire question and your mind just goes completely blank.
The freeze. It's a very real psychological phenomenon.
Right.
And in an airport, the stakes feel incredibly high, because there are lines behind you, there are announcements blaring, and there's a clock ticking.
Exactly. So today we are doing something a little different. We aren't just reviewing an article. We are unpacking a very specific source called The Essential Guide to Airport English Conversations.
And it is such a practical guide.
It really is. And we're doing this specifically for you, the learner. Our target audience today is non-native English speakers who want to learn to speak English in an easy way.
Which is exactly who this guide is for.
Right. The person who wants to navigate that airport chaos without feeling like they are solving a complex riddle every single time they open their mouth.
And what I love about this source material, and really why we picked it for this deep dive, is that it is incredibly pragmatic. It is not trying to teach you how to write a novel or, debate politics. It focuses purely on the topic, which they define as at the airport / travel conversations.
Yeah, the focus is super tight.
It promises to make it simple.
Airport English made simple - check-in, security, and gate conversations. And it says in parentheses, podcast. That's the full title of the source.
It is.
And I want to start right there with that first phrase. Airport English. It sounds like a dialect, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Like Australian English or British English. Is airport English actually a distinct thing?
It absolutely is a thing. Think about it. The way you speak to a barista at a coffee shop on a Sunday morning is, it's relaxed.
Right, very casual.
It's full of small talk. It's meandering. You might say, oh, maybe I will have a latte. How's your day going?
Right.
If you try that at airport security, you are going to have a problem.
Yeah, the TSA agent really does not want to know how my day is going.
Exactly. Airport English is a specialized subset of the language. It is defined by urgency, by precision, and by commands.
Commands, right.
It has its own vocabulary, its own rhythm, and its own rules. And the biggest rule, which this guide emphasizes over and over, is efficiency.
So the made simple part of the title isn't just a marketing slogan.
No, not at all.
It's actually the core strategy.
It is the survival mechanism. Complexity is the enemy of the traveler. When you are in that high-pressure environment, your brain literally shuts down its higher processing centers.
Oh, wow. So you physically can't process it all?
Right. You don't want to be conjugating complex verbs. You want what I like to call high-protein, low-carb English.
Okay, I love that. High-protein, low-carb English. Break that down for me.
Okay, so high-protein means it is full of meaning. Essential nouns and verbs.
Give me an example.
Words like passport, gate, bag. Now, low carb means you strip away the fluff.
The filler?
Exactly. The core focus here is to avoid filler words. No like, or sort of. Those are empty calories.
Right, because in an airport, they just slow everything down and confuse the listener.
And they confuse you too. If you are trying to translate all those polite filler words from your native language into English while handing over your passport, you're going to freeze.
So our mission today, for you listening, is to strip the carbs out of your travel vocabulary. And the guide breaks this massive, scary ecosystem of the airport into 3 very specific chunks or phases: check-in, security, and gate.
Which is brilliant structural design, by the way.
Why is that?
Because that is the exact chronological flow of the traveler. You can't skip one.
Right.
You literally have to beat level 1 to get to level 2.
So we are going to walk through these 3 levels: check-in, security, and gate. And we aren't just going to talk broadly about them.
No, we need to get into the details.
Right. We are going to drill down into the actual conversations, the specific phrases, and the traps that people fall into.
Let's do it. Level 1.
Level 1. Check-in conversations. Now, in the modern world, a lot of people might think, oh, I just use the airline app. I don't talk to anyone.
Sure.
But the guide specifically lists check-in as the first essential conversation. Why do they prioritize that?
Because when things go smooth, yes, you use the app. But when things go wrong, or when you have baggage to drop off, you need the human.
Right. You can't hand a suitcase to an app.
Exactly. And that is where the first linguistic barrier hits. Check-in is the entry point. It's like the login screen of your trip.
The login screen. I like that analogy.
If you get the password wrong here, you just don't get into the system.
So let's role play this a little bit. I walk up to the counter. I'm a non-native speaker. I'm nervous. What is the biggest mistake I could make right at the start of that check-in conversation?
Over-politeness. Over-politeness and hesitation.
Really? Being too polite is a mistake?
In this context, yes. A learner might walk up and say, hello, excuse me, I am hoping to perhaps go to New York today.
I mean, that sounds very nice and polite.
It is polite, but remember our rule. It is high carb. It has too many filler words.
Right. We want to avoid filler words.
Exactly. The ager has looked at 500 people today. They don't want a paragraph. They want data.
So what should they say instead?
The guide suggests a very simple, direct opening. Hi, checking in for the flight to New York.
Just like that.
Or even simpler. Check in, New York, and you hand over your documents immediately.
Check in. New York. I have to admit, it feels almost rude to be that brief.
It feels rude if you are in a bakery, sure. But in an airport, it signals competence.
Thank you.
You were telling the agent, I know how this works. I am efficient. Let's get this done.
Okay, so I've established I'm going to New York. Now we hit the physical part of the conversation, the luggage.
Yes, the bags.
This is where I feel like I always get tripped up, and I speak English natively. The vocabulary here is very specific.
It is a huge friction point. The guide distinguishes between 3 critical types of bags, and mixing these up can actually cost you real money.
Okay, let's hear them.
You have checked baggage, carry-on, and personal item.
I know checked and carry-on. Checked goes in the belly of the plane, carry-on goes up top in the cabin. But what about the personal item?
This is the one that always catches people out. A personal item is a purse, a laptop bag, or a small backpack that fits strictly under the seat in front of you.
Okay, under the seat. Why does that specific distinction matter so much?
Because many budget airlines allow one personal item for free,
Well,
but they charge for a carry-on.
oh, I see.
So if you walk up to the desk and say, I have 2 carry-ons, the agent is going to charge you for the second one.
Wow.
But if you say, I have 1 carry-on and 1 personal item, you might literally save $50 just by using the correct vocabulary.
So the vocabulary literally has a price tag attached to it. That is fascinating.
Precision saves you money.
Are there other phrases like that at check-in?
Yes. Another big one the guide highlights here is the difference between a layover and a stopover.
Oh, good one. I hear those used interchangeably all the time. What's the difference?
A layover is a short break between flights, usually under 24 hours. You were just changing planes at the airport.
Right, you grab a coffee and wait at the gate.
Exactly. A stopover is when you actually stay in a city for a day or two before continuing your journey.
Okay, and why is that important for check-in?
If you are checking a bag, this is absolutely crucial. You need to ask the golden question. Do my bags go through to the final destination?
Do my bags go through? That is a power phrase right there.
You have to memorize that one. Do my bags go through? Because if you don't ask and you just assume they do, but you actually have to pick them up and recheck them during your layover.
You are going to arrive in New York with no clothes.
Exactly. And nobody wants that.
Nobody wants that. Okay, so we are still at the desk. The agent looks at my bag and they give me that look, you know, the look.
Oh, it looks heavy look.
Yes, the heavy look. And then they ask you that very specific question. Did you pack this bag yourself?
This is a regulatory question. It is a strict security script that they have to follow.
Right.
And this is a massive trap for learners who want to practice their English and tell a story.
So don't tell a story here.
Do not say, well, my wife helped me fold the shirts and my mom put in some cookies that she baked yesterday.
Right, because suddenly that sounds incredibly suspicious.
It sounds like unknown contents.
Yeah.
The agent is listening for anomalies.
So keep it brief.
The only correct answer to, did you pack this bag yourself, is yes.
Just yes.
And the only answer to, are you carrying any hazardous materials, is no. These are binary questions. True or false, 0 or 1.
So this isn't conversation time. This is literally a verbal form you are filling out.
Perfectly put. It is a verbal checkbox.
Now, what if something actually is wrong? Let's say the bag is overweight.
It happens all the time.
The agent says, your bag is 25 kilos. The limit is 23. The guide actually has a section on problem solving at check-in. How do we navigate that negotiation?
Well, you basically have two choices. You can pay the overweight fee, or you can rearrange your stuff.
And the vocabulary for that.
The key phrase here is, can I rearrange some items?
Can I rearrange some items?
Yes. It signals to the agent, I am willing to solve this problem right now without arguing with you.
Right, because arguing never works anyway.
Never. Most agents will just point to a side area and say, sure, step over there.
Giving you space to fix it.
But if you just stand there and look sad, or if you try to argue and say, but it's only 2 kilos, you are creating friction.
And slowing down the line.
Exactly. Can I rearrange is the magic key to unlocking a second chance.
That is really good advice. It is proactive. You are taking ownership of the problem.
Yes.
Okay, so we have successfully dropped the bag. We have got our boarding pass. We confirmed our bags are going through.
Everything is looking good.
Now we turn away from the nice, calm carpet of the check-in area, and we head towards the scary part.
Phase 2, security.
The guide lists this as security conversations, but honestly, conversations feels like a very generous word for what happens there.
It does, doesn't it?
It feels more like security barking.
It feels aggressive.
Yeah.
But notice the shift in tone. That is deliberate.
How so?
At check-in, the agent is a customer service representative. Their job is to help you. At security, the officer is a regulatory enforcer.
They don't care about customer service.
They do not care if you are happy, they care if you are safe.
You are not a customer anymore. You are a potential threat until proven otherwise.
Exactly. And that changes the language completely. We move from polite requests to imperatives.
Imperatives, that means commands, right?
Yes. Shoes off, laptop out, empty pockets, arms up.
It's very blunt.
There are no pleases or thank yous here. And for a language learner, this can feel incredibly rude.
I can totally see that.
It can make you freeze because you think you've done something wrong just because of their tone.
I felt that myself. When someone shouts belt at me, I immediately think, oh no, am I in trouble?
But you are not in trouble. They are just trying to process 500 people an hour.
So it's that efficiency thing again. Avoid filler words, get straight to the point.
Exactly. The guide emphasizes that the key to security English is compliance vocabulary and physical response.
Okay, compliance vocabulary. How do we prepare for this so we don't freeze?
Anticipation. The guide talks a lot about the script. Security is highly scripted.
Meaning it's the same every time.
It is almost always the exact same sequence. Liquids, electronics, metals, body scan.
Okay.
If you know the specific words they're going to use, like bin or tray, you are way ahead of the game.
A bin is the plastic box you put your stuff in, right?
Yes. Put your electronics in a separate bin. If you don't know the word bin, you're going to stand there holding your laptop looking confused.
And then they get annoyed.
And that slows the whole line down.
One thing the guide mentions here that I found really interesting is the danger of narrating your actions.
Oh, this is a classic nervous tick.
People talk too much when they are nervous.
They start talking to the officer to fill the silence. They say, okay, I'm taking my belt off now, and I have some coins in my pocket, and oh wait, is this key okay to leave here?
Why is that bad, though? It seems harmless.
Because the officer is listening for threats. If you are babbling, you are creating noise.
So again, avoid the filler words. Avoid the extra conversation.
The guide specifically advises that silence is part of the fluency here. Do as you are told, and only speak if you are asked a direct question.
But what if I actually do have a problem? Let's say I have a metal implant in my knee, or a pacemaker. I can't just be silent then, can I?
Great point. That is the exception. If you have a medical condition, you need a preemptive phrase.
Something to say before you walk through the scanner.
Yes. The guide suggests a very simple phrase. I have a medical device.
I have a medical device. That's it.
Very simple. You don't need to explain the knee surgery you had in 1998. Just, I have a medical device.
Keep it high protein.
Exactly. It triggers a different protocol for them. They will usually just wave you over to the side for a pat down.
A pat down. That's another key vocabulary term to know.
Yes. If you hear the officer say, we need to do a pat down, do not panic.
It sounds scary.
It does, but it just means a manual physical check. It's totally standard.
Let's talk about liquids. This is where absolutely everyone gets caught up. The sign always says liquids, aerosols, and gels.
Oh, yes. The LAGs.
The LAGs. Is that what they call it?
Liquids, aerosols, gels. The guide highlights that people often forget that food can legally be a liquid in this context.
Like soup, obviously.
Sure, soup. But also, yogurt is a liquid. Peanut butter is considered a liquid or gel.
Wait, peanut butter is a liquid.
In the eyes of airport security, yes. Their rule of thumb is, if you can spread it, it's a liquid.
That is wild.
So the conversation at the scanner often revolves around confirming these specific items are out of the bag.
How does that usually go?
If the officer asks, any liquids in the bag, do not say, I don't think so.
Say no.
Say no, firmly. If you aren't sure if your peanut butter counts, just take it out.
Better safe than sorry. Keep the line moving.
And here is a really nuanced tip from the guide regarding the word okay.
The word okay, but everyone in the world knows the word okay. It's the most universal word.
It is, but in many cultures, okay is used as a question.
Like, okay, seeking confirmation.
Exactly, okay. But in English, especially at a tense security checkpoint, if an officer says step forward, and you reply with okay with a rising intonation,
It sounds like you are questioning them.
yes, it can sound like you are questioning their authority, or that you don't actually understand the command.
Oh, wow, I never thought of that.
A firm nod of the head is often much better than a spoken word at security.
So body language is actually part of the airport English lexicon.
100%. Eye contact, nodding, and prompt physical movement. That is what fluent security behavior looks like.
All right, so we have survived the pat down. We have put our belt back on. Hopefully we don't forget our laptop in the bin.
Always double check the bin.
We grab our stuff and move to that little composure zone, the benches to repack. And now we head to phase 3. The gate.
The gate conversations.
No, usually by the time I get to the gate, I just want to sit down, buy an overpriced water, and put my headphones on.
We all do.
But the guide says this is actually the most dynamic environment for English. Why is that?
Because check-in and security are static processes. You go to them, you follow the rules, you leave. The gate is fluid. Things change rapidly at the gate. And the primary language skill here isn't speaking, it is active listening.
Active listening. That's tough because gate announcements are notorious for being muffled and just generally hard to hear.
Exactly. It always sounds like, attention passengers on flight, wham, 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 whoop, whoop, boom, 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 boom.
Yes, it's terrible audio quality.
So you cannot try to understand every single word. You need to train your ear to listen for keywords.
What are the keywords the guide tells us we need to hunt for in that noise?
First one is your destination city. If you are going to Chicago, your ear should be finely tuned to the sound of the word Chicago.
Okay, destination. What else?
Second is your flight number, flight 202.
Got it.
And third are the status words, words like delayed, boarding, or gate change.
Gate change. That is the absolute nightmare scenario.
It is the worst, but if you hear Chicago, gate change, B12, you don't need to understand the rest of the sentence.
You just grab your bag and run to B12.
Exactly. You synthesize the only data that matters.
Let's talk about boarding groups. This is a massive source of confusion and, frankly, embarrassment.
Oh, definitely.
I have seen people stand in line for 20 minutes, they get to the front, only to get turned away because they were group 4 and the agent called group 1.
Right. This is about combining reading and listening. Your boarding pass will clearly have a group or zone printed on it. Group A, Zone 1, whatever the airline uses.
And the announcement?
The announcement will be, now boarding group 1. But the guide warns about a very specific false friend in listening here.
A false friend. Give me an example of that.
The word pre-boarding.
Ah, pre-boarding.
You are sitting there, you hear the word boarding over the speaker, and you immediately jump up.
Because you want to get on the plane.
But pre-boarding is a specific phase for people who need extra time, or families with small children, or active military.
So if you aren't in those categories,
If you rush up to the desk during pre-boarding, the agent will scan your ticket, shake their head, and send you all the way back to your seat.
and everyone is watching, it is embarrassing.
It really is. You need to listen for general boarding, or specifically your group number.
What about when the flight is overbooked? That happens a lot more lately. You hear that slightly desperate announcement, we are looking for volunteers.
This is an advanced gate conversation. It is essentially a negotiation.
How does that announcement usually sound?
It sounds like we're looking for volunteers to take a later flight in exchange for a travel voucher.
Now, if I am a learner and I am flexible on my travel time, this is actually a great opportunity, right?
It is a fantastic opportunity, but you have to be fast and you have to be clear.
What should I say if I go up to the desk?
The phrase to use here is, I am willing to volunteer. What is the offer?
What is the offer? That is very direct.
Direct and businesslike. Do not just say yes immediately. Ask about the compensation.
Right, because you are doing them a favor.
Exactly. This is where you need to listen for terms like voucher, meal ticket, hotel accommodation, and next available flight.
Okay, let's look at a scenario from hell that the guide mentions. The sudden delay.
Oh, the dreaded screen flip.
Yes. You look at the departure screen, it says on time. You look down at your phone, look back up, and suddenly it says delayed in red letters.
Your heart sinks.
You go up to the desk. What do you actually say? Because your instinct is to just yell, why is it delayed?
Yelling why gets you absolutely nowhere.
Because the agent probably doesn't even know why.
Exactly. They just see what's on their screen. The better question, the actionable question, is what is the new connection time?
What is the new connection time?
Because if you have a connecting flight, a 30-minute delay might mean you completely miss your next flight.
That makes sense.
By asking about the connection, you are prompting the agent to open your specific itinerary and look at your problem.
You're shifting their focus from the general flight delay to your specific travel plan.
They might say, oh, with this delay, you will miss your flight to London. Let me rebook you on another carrier right now.
So you are really helping them help you.
Exactly. You are identifying the consequence of the delay rather than just complaining about the delay itself. That is high-level airport English.
There is one more gate scenario I want to touch on before we wrap up the phases. The gate check.
Ah, yes. The forced gate check.
You have your carry-on bag. You made it past the check-in desk without paying a fee. You are feeling good.
You feel like you won.
But the flight is completely full, and the agent makes an announcement. We are running out of overhead bin space.
And then they start walking around tagging bags.
This can be really confusing for learners, right? Because they think they are suddenly being charged a fee.
Yes, panic sets in. But usually, a gate check is completely free. They are just taking your bag at the door of the plane and putting it underneath in the cargo hold.
Okay, so you don't need to pay.
Right. But the critical vocabulary distinction here is between the phrases claim at gate versus claim at carousel.
Oh, that is a huge distinction. I've messed that up before.
It is huge. Claim at carousel means you pick your bag up at your final destination at the baggage claim, just like a normal checked bag.
Okay, and claim at gate.
Claim at gate, which is sometimes called a pink tag, depending on the airline, means you pick it up on the jet bridge, literally right when you walk off the plane.
Like they bring it right up from the plane to the door.
Exactly. This is very common for strollers, wheelchairs, or if you are flying on a small regional jet with tiny bins.
So how do you know which one it is?
You have to ask. As they are putting the tag on your bag, ask, where do I pick this up?
Where do I pick this up? Another essential phrase.
It is essential because it saves you from standing at the baggage carousel for an hour, waiting for a bag that is actually sitting 2 terminals away back at the gate.
That would be a disaster. Okay, so we have covered a lot of ground here today. We have gone from the login screen of check-in through the imperative zone of security, all the way to the active listening environment of the gate.
We really have. And notice what we did not talk about today.
What?
We didn't talk about complex grammar rules. We didn't talk about the past perfect continuous tense.
Because airport English does not care about the past perfect continuous tense.
No, it does not. It only cares about clarity. It cares about those high-protein words we talked about.
I want to circle back to something we mentioned at the very start of the show, the podcast aspect of this guide.
Right.
Why is it so vitally important for a learner to hear these conversations as opposed to just reading them in a PDF or a textbook?
Because of intonation and stress. In spoken English, we use stress to completely change the meaning or the urgency of a sentence.
Give me an example.
Think about the difference between a polite passport, please, versus a sharp passport now.
Oh yeah, totally a different vibe.
The written word simply cannot convey the urgency of a crowded security checkpoint. You have to hear it.
And the ambient noise, too.
Absolutely. Learning English in a quiet, perfectly lit classroom is one thing. Understanding a garbled announcement over a PA system with a baby crying next to you is a completely different skill.
It's like training with weights on.
Audio training helps you tune your ear to the actual rhythm of the airport.
It makes sense. You practice in the conditions you are going to play in.
Precisely. And speaking of rhythm, let's revisit that low-carb concept one more time. The removal of filler words.
Yes, the focus of our audience today. Avoid filler words.
If you go up to the gate agent and you say, excuse me, I was wondering if maybe, the flight is still on time.
That is exhausting just to listen to.
You are forcing that stressed out agent to filter through 80% noise just to find the 20% signal.
And they might actually stop listening before you even get to the point.
They very well might. Compare that long sentence to this. Excuse me. Is the flight on time?
Boom. Signal. No noise.
It is respectful of their time.
Yeah.
And paradoxically, being brief is often more polite in this specific context than being flowery and using all those filler words.
That is a really hard lesson for people from certain cultures, isn't it? I know in many places around the world, directness is seen as inherently rude.
It is.
Yeah.
But airport English is an international standard. It transcends local culture.
That's an interesting way to look at it.
Whether you were flying out of Tokyo or Frankfurt or Dubai, the check-in security gate structure is exactly the same. The expectations of the staff are the same.
So you aren't being rude to them.
No. Adopting this direct, efficient style isn't being rude. It is simply speaking the local language of the airport.
That's a great way to frame it. You are code switching. You are switching into traveler mode.
Exactly, traveler mode.
So let's synthesize all of this for you, the listener. Imagine you are packing for your next trip. You have your clothes, you have your toiletries. What are you packing linguistically?
You are packing your 3 specific scripts.
Script 1.
Script 1 is check-in. Checking in for destination. Do my bags go through? Can I rearrange?
Perfect. Script 2.
Script 2 is security. Laptop is out. Liquids are separate. I have a medical device. And the golden rule here, silence and compliance.
And finally, script 3.
Script 3 is the gate. Listening actively for your flight number and status. And asking direct questions like, what is the new connection time? And where do I pick this up?
If you have those specific phrases in your pocket, you are practically bulletproof.
You really are. The anxiety naturally drops because you know the script. You aren't improvising anymore. You are performing a scene you have already rehearsed.
And that transforms the airport from a place of fear and panic into just, well, a transit hub.
Which is all it's supposed to be in the first place.
I want to leave everyone listening with a final provocative thought. We have talked a lot about the mechanics of the language today.
We have.
But there is a massive mindset shift here too. When you master airport English, when you can walk through security and confidently snap your bins into place and breeze through the gate, you feel like a pro.
It is incredibly empowering. It stops you from feeling like a victim of this massive, confusing system and makes you an active participant in it.
And honestly, that confidence is the best travel accessory you can possibly have.
Way better than a neck pillow.
So much better than a neck pillow.
And remember, even native speakers get confused at airports. The announcements are bad for everyone.
So true.
So don't beat yourself up if you miss a word or get confused. Just use your high-protein questions to get back on track.
Say that again, please.
Yes. The ultimate fallback phrase. Say that again, please. Or speak slowly, please. Never be afraid to use those.
Fantastic advice. This has been a true deep dive into the nuts and bolts of travel language. I hope that the next time you see those sliding glass doors, you walk through them with your head held high.
Because you know the secret now. Every airport in the world operates on this exact same 3-step structure. Once you know it, you can navigate anywhere.
Safe travels, everyone. Thanks for taking this deep dive with us. We will catch you on the next flight.
Bye, everyone.